Hi everyone, Julia here recording this November 29th, 2024. And I was thinking about how most science fiction is dystopian, right? Disastrous. And I typed in search engine, just dystopian versus utopian science fiction. And someone wrote that Russia used to have what they called communist science fiction, but it was utopian. So I was like, communism being equated with utopia. And then I was thinking back when the Eastern Bloc, when the wall came down in Berlin, and my parents were immigrants from Czechoslovakia, which was part of the Eastern Bloc, and that's when they immigrated to the USA after World War II. They got to the USA in 1950. But when they got their freedom back or whatever, when they got out of communism, a lot of the people weren't happy with the new way things were. And there was complaints. They were like, well, we had everything we needed before. There wasn't crime. Nobody stole from anyone. And it just didn't really improve their situation. And I remember hearing about that when I lived over in Prague in 2005 to 2009. How, people would still talk about how it was better before the wall came down. So, I don't know. I guess it's all perspective. People really don't want to have limits on how much excess they can have. And I just wonder if that's because they've been programmed to have so much excess. That's like a given, right? Look at our programming machines, starting with, just newspapers and radios and television, now the internet. So, we're programmed to have as much as possible of everything and always be upgrading and, be these good obedient consumers that work hard and spend all our money buying more crap. So, I don't know, it's like all these political systems sound good in theory, but it's in practice that things get corrupted. And all the dystopian movies, and not even just science fiction, is that predictive programming? Maybe, of course, people that are listening to this are already probably selective about what media they let influence them, that they take in. So, there's a lot to think about around that. Wouldn't it just be great if every person could have everything they need? And the truth is, we can all have abundance. We really can. It just takes a few good people at the top with the abilities and the technology. And by abilities, at this point, the way the world works, that's money. So a few good billionaires, 3 or 4 billionaires that really wanted to help save everyone, change this paradigm into a utopian one. It's just as possible as going to the dystopian one that is all that you seem to hear about when you get online. I was just listening to David Icke. And AI is taking over. And I was like, well, maybe AI's been in charge, you know? Maybe we're the one that programmed that AI that's in charge now. Who knows, you know? But I do know that our intentions modify future probability. So as long as we think, oh, it's going to be horrible, we're going to have all this control, we're not going to be able to buy all the stuff we want, we might not own anything. You know, the Native Americans didn't own anything. They did all right. So I don't know. I don't really own anything, so it's not going to affect me either way. And so never really been into that whole ownership thing. Even when I have a car, I always call it the car, not my car. But yeah, you know, it's just what we're programmed, and what everybody talks about is things getting worse and more constricted. But if you look around at your life, the opposite is happening. Pretty much everyone listening to this could right now get online, get a plane ticket, and go pretty much anywhere they want in the world. Just like that. As long as they got enough money to pay for it. So, you know, they print that out of thin air, and there's always ways to get your share of that abundance. And really all abundance is printed out of thin air. And we all have access to whatever we want, even if it is excess. It will be provided if we just, you know, work on our manifestation abilities. So if we're true alchemists and divine creator beings, and we are, then it doesn't matter what's going on out here in the collective. We can manifest the reality that we want and be an example. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna necessarily all be bad in the future, and I'm gonna stay hopeful for a utopian future instead of a dystopian future. So whatever, David Icke. Alright everyone, thanks for listening. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Remember to stay focused on the good and help others if you can. Ciao, ciao.